And maybe because
Okay, I had to shave it down a little bit.
being in
I'll
isolation
have
or
to shave it down a little bit more.
or because they were on leave,
Watch the
or
intro.
for whatever reason, they miss a month of being taped. So they have a month that is missing where they don't have their 5500s or 5501s. What do you do? Now, as we go,
Wow. We could renormalize,
explain
but that may not be
to you as far as how to present
protocol.
yourself to the board. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things I think that people often do is that they lack some experience.
Again, Stoker, I know that this may not be your
confidence, if that makes sense.
conventional recruiter's page.
One of the things I think you need to do when you're appearing before the board is talk story, okay? I know you're talking to seniors, right? I get that, and I get that there's a level of anxiety that comes with that. But if you get into the habit of being able to, and rehearse talking out loud.
I'll walk you
right,
through it while we go through a unit, and then you would be out here with me, with this gorilla playing King Kong, fighting Mecha.
Make sure that you're talking out loud, and then make sure that you are speaking from as much of experience as you can. Like, hey, First Sergeant, we actually had this happen.
About masks.
And here's what we did. That would be a great way because it's talking about your experience. Hopefully, your experience was within regulatory guidance. But
here's a whole thing where this dude just.
Some folks
in case you are new to this, I'm gonna pause you, Stoker, for a minute. We're gonna
5501s. By the way, you need 2 every single time, 2 different teams.
Maybe not.
And so if somebody misses, it's not a big deal. So
yeah, in the first test, we'll see which screw is easiest to install. Then we'll see which screw is the strongest. We'll see which brand has the best deck built. Does it really matter which type of screw they use? Well, let's find out. In the first test, we'll see which screw.
Another level.
You know that, once a soldier is enrolled in the Army Body Composition program, they need to start making progress, right? And so satisfactory progress, loss of 3 to 8 pounds or 1%, right? So if somebody misses a month, that is due to circumstances outside of anybody's control. All you need to do is write a memorandum for record and, talk with your legal department to make sure that it's saying all the things that they need you to say in it.
Some of this is a lot about Ollie 0,
I'd like
Ollie
to get
1.
up to 30% off my auto
Now, the reason I like
insurance,
Stoker for it
Mr. Gronkowski,
is because he's right living on that marginally prepared amp cut window of knows drills, knows how to be serious in situations, tell one kid to abort it, and the other kid, you need to keep that baby and quit the labor pain. Whatever it may be in that field, to question Bernoulli's. I don't know what his training line would be. I don't know what he would say from military base 0 to 1 to Olive 2, right?
To go to keep moving forward. So if the soldier had like one missed month or one month of satisfactory progress, and then they missed that month,
big break.
And then the next month is non-satisfactory.
And the world don't have
progress.
vacations or weekends.
2 months of non-satisfactory progress.
Sometimes you get lucky and they work in the cycle for you, but if you have to change what it is, you have to change what it is.
A couple more non-satisfactory.
I'm ready to go in there and breach.
Hope that helps.
Breach Yemen and beat Russia in winter, taking Ukraine and using it to bring down the Great Wall of China like Kublai Khan or Khan the Conqueror, man. Just. You ready? Well, we get there. Getting there is the issue. This easy in itself.
What do you do?
You would think, right? Well, I like Stoker again because the reality of first sergeants across the board are very vast and wide. Like E0 to E1 on the spectrum, or radio to ultraviolet. Pings picking up somewhere.
Forecast a little bit better soldier issues before they happen. But things happen, and so a soldier comes in and they don't have anything.
This timeline again, and I try my best to show you the visualization of what that. We're gonna go. Somebody went through Stoker's class. They whatever would have been in this frame rate to however they're teaching, 10 them out. We taught you to pack your shoe. That was one of those things. It happens in the region when big tech or big army. We're like, how do I know? You just kind of feel it out. The pressure, gradients, you graph everything.
And you
Who's the Homer? Who's the Ninja? Who's the Hawking?
They probably have some vouchers if need be for food.
One here, like again, they just kind of just don't chew on this one. You go over there and you bump in the other one. They can shoot you. They can't kill you, really. You know what this is. It's not what you would normally expect for a warrior. But if you might have a little girl with a breadbasket in there, I don't like it. But we'll take what we can get.
That could also help out.
Because that comes back around the board. I mean, if you wind up with the reality is not a unit that's the separator based on it, even if it was.
Family to help welcome them a little bit more into the organization and into the area. Right, you're going to the field and you're getting ready to, you tell your troopers, hey, we're going to do some PCCs, right? And so specifically, walk me through how you're going to conduct PCCs, especially as it relates to hygiene.
Ah, yes.
Now, this question,
verbal garbage,
depending on who's asked and who's being asked, is probably a setup. Right? It's probably a setup. Now, what I mean by that is, if you are a male soldier, I'm probably setting you up to come in sideways at you about female hygiene.
Every once in a while, there's a number where it's like, yes, and I should be thinking that, and I shouldn't be uncomfortable about what the Vitruvian woman's training regimen is if I'm supposed to be into that, instead of totally unprepared on an OP brief that you're not ready for just that. Now, again, in the larger indexes, where you're going to have to figure out where to put some places in general to help you figure it out, and some limits to those things. Like I said, this field out here about operations is like, you know what happens is D&D, you're so used to field missions and this wizard that can turn into a T-Rex or a 20-foot thing that if you give them limits inside of this, you have to roll for getting squished. And then that wizard play don't work. Or figuring out, you know, some wizard knows some spell that turns into a spiders and recons all this, so you need doors that just don't recon in 30 seconds this whole thing. And this is what you learn by watching this. And so you go in there and you change the parameters in such a way that they limit it. And you know as D&D, some slippery kid's going to try to do something. So you hide some scout spell into some secret passage, but only if the ranger does the secret passage check while they're in there. Because those are the fucking drills.
We are not coming back. Well, what are you going to do about showers out in the field? Don't females have to shower every 3 days? No, females are not required to shower every 3 days, right?
Just put grids on this board and we'll play it out on here. We change the scale. And then by scale, if in this we could shrink this down, or you play by units in sets or squads or units, and they play that way. Well, it's EV and the congruency, again, breaking this down. You know, if I don't have to measure so much, or I can just have to measure range, I count out squares and then change scale around, and it all works the same way. Land nav.
By the way, toothpaste, toothbrush, all that stuff. Take care of your teeth, right? Take care of your teeth. But how I take care of the sanitation for one person,
the beauty on this,
essentially no different than somebody
there he
else.
is.
Obviously,
there it is.
Our female soldiers have a few different needs, you know, because people are different. But that doesn't mean that the process and the procedures that we put into place should be all that different. Have all your stuff.
So again, I appreciate it, and I'm sure the rest of it to the board questions you pose to this setup here, Stoker. I love it.
Are people actually washing their butt?
And again, he probably made a lot of generations off of it. I mean, I'm sure we could just get into the analytics of just what it is, but the kids don't care about the analytics, and the testing itself, the design, which you would know from first sergeant or something like that, really isn't relevant. And constant preachings of redundant teachings. I see sharps and a salty flashing through in superposition.
You're getting ready to dispatch your equipment, and you've been asked or tasked.
Joining me now, Victor Davis Hanson, Senior Fellow at the Hoover Institution and author of The Dying Citizen. You know, Victor, Jonathan's right, full disclosure, there's your book there. I'm a Charger fan. I go to SoFi all the time, and the rule is you have to have a mask to get in, but inside nobody wears them and nobody enforces mask mandates inside. But if you're the guy that came up with the law and came up with the rule, you need to wear a mask.
Yeah, when he said he just took off his mask for a second, I thought, did he order the virus
by now,
to stop
or
and
something?
Say, hey,
somebody say
don't
something
get in
about
the air
social
near me.
media.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
You take on Who is it?
habitual with them, and it's
Hercules
habitual
there.
with
Oh, I
all
can't
of this,
remember his name.
elite that have
Yeah,
rules that they
bust up
enforce on others.
Joe
They
Rogan,
won't,
obviously,
can't,
because they
follow
get
themselves, whether
momentum.
Joe Biden or
He's an
Anthony
early
Fauci at a
index of
baseball
somebody who
game.
likes a
And all
song
three
before
of
you
these
put money
characters,
on
London
it.
Breed
It's
and
one of the
Newsom, of course,
names
from
that
the
you put
French
out in the
Laundry. I think
market as a
Garcetti was
feeler
outside his
is where they're
house
positioned
addressing
into
a
it
crowd in
before you know
2020.
that
They never
public
follow the
market's going to love it,
consequences of their own
and so you
ideology.
kind of
And
put
it's
a
kind
half
of
in on
cruel,
it.
Trace, because they make these little kids,
It
3,
goes
4,
to say
5,
all
wear
of
masks.
them
I
here.
have a
You can
special
be a
needs
senator,
granddaughter
run
who, when this
midterms. You
broke
don't need
out,
to
was
be any
5,
of it. It's
and
just the
she
platform
didn't
for
know
some
what a mask
gravity to
was,
be a
and she would
Mason
fight
just
with
works
it.
and plays
And if
so
she
much
had just
better
a little
inside
bit
of
of her
there
nose
when you
showing,
clip it
people on
like
the
that.
street would run over to my
You're
daughter
playing
and
into
yell
a
at her.
video relative
And
to
yet the
Stoker
people
out
who
in the
are so
field as first
cynical,
sergeant
and
board
it
questions. So
resonates
that's you in the seat.
with a lot of other issues.
And you would expect
These are
the
the same
board
people who are
student here that's
fighting for
inside the set to
drastic efforts,
whatever yes
correlating
and
the
no
sort of
is.
mass with COVID, but drastic efforts to stop
Board member,
climate
you gotta let
change
fly
and
with, in
fly
my
private
opinion,
jets.
secondary.
Or they just swear that
all
walls have no utility on the
people,
border,
so
but their
all
homes are
student
surrounded by
supervision
walls.
drifting.
Or they
to
say
insulting
to
trips
us,
here.
you have to have strong teachers unions and no charter schools, but their kids are in prep school. So we've created this elite that just feels that they're morally superior and therefore they don't have to
I love
follow
my video
these
about sharks. What
mundane
if I
laws.
proposition
And
Ted
it really begs the
to
question,
come down
where
here
is
and
Neil
give a
Young and
demonstration of
Joni
his
Mitchell? Are they
corridors?
gonna
Other
come
than
on
animal
outrage? I'm going
cruelty,
to go on
what
strike.
laws
I'm
been
not going to
violated?
talk because my own governor violated a policy that threatens my life. No, you're not going to say anything, and that's. I think that's important to remember because these politicians don't expect and they
Again,
count
what
on.
would you other do than
So
save all your
they don't
marshmallows in
expect
a
criticism.
in a box under your
nobody
bed
sounds
and
the
hope
alarm.
nobody sees it because then you get shot in the head for saving all that evidence. The way to go around all that money you had to do, expected to use it in the play from a triple agent post inside things because at top level or any other level from where
Some commenters noted that the group appears to be in a private open-air suite. The whole stadium's open air. Others pointed out that several people, including Garcetti, are holding their masks in their hands, indicating they may have removed the face covering for the photos. The LA Times, of all people, of all institutions giving the governor a pass for not wearing a mask, is its own rich statement. Final
Ted
thoughts.
didn't give this to me. Neither did any of the mills.
I think that's really important to realize what
let
you
me
just
walk
said,
right out
Trace,
the door. I
because
mean,
these
even if they did,
politicians,
what they
and
do?
again,
Maybe called me a
our
couple
elite,
times, say come
they get
back for the same
emboldened
pay,
because they
nothing
count on the
different.
press to be enablers rather than auditors and censors of their behavior. And that's really bad
Yeah, I'll
for
give
them
it fair.
because
There's
they
some
do
things in
they
there that are
otherwise
bits
wouldn't
mind
do,
that you
and they
can't
have
say, but let's go
absolute
at it in the
contempt for
town
us,
meeting
the
at the
public,
lodge.
as a result.